My name is Sheswell, and we are on a mission to defeat Elden Ring from start to finish using all 411 unique weapons that this game has to offer. Today's weapon is the Eclipse Shotel, and it was recommended by the Guy Gus over on the YouTube. So if you have a weapon that you want to see, put it down in the comments below, and when we do the video, we will shout you out in the intro. Throughout the course of the video, we will be going over how to best utilize the Eclipse Shotel. Is it best to use single, one, two-handed it? Is it best to use one in each hand? What is the optimal starting class when wanting to maximize this weapon? What stats should you upgrade, and in what order? Are there any hard caps to avoid, soft caps that you want to be sure to hit? We'll do a deep dive into all of that, and then a full breakdown of the build where we'll show you exactly how to get your character set up to become the Elden Lord using the Eclipse Shotel. From there, we will have footage of all 14 mandatory bosses that it takes to become the Elden Lord. And in each one of those fights, we'll be giving voiceover tips on what windows that you want to strike each boss with this specific weapon. Finally, we're going to end with a tier list where we have a live tier list ranking of each and every one of these weapons as we play through them all from start to finish of the game. So sit back, strap in, relax, and without further ado, let's get into the starting class. The optimal starting class when using the Eclipse Shotel to do a full playthrough from start to finish is surprisingly going to be the warrior starting class. It's a bit surprising because the weapon's highest requirement is faith of 30 to be able to use, and this only brings us in at 8. What it lacks in faith, it makes up for in dexterity, and we need a whopping 25 dexterity to use this weapon and 10 strength. So we have the minimal 10 strength requirement with not an extra point wasted into strength, and this weapon scales least with strength, so the minimum is plenty to use it. This lets us get our dexterity from 16 to 25 to start, and then our faith from 8 all the way to 30. From there, we can upgrade our vigor from 11 up to 30, and the endurance stats from 11 to 15 if you are running armorless, or if you're running the armor that we recommended in the build, you want to get it to at least 23. From there, you want to focus back over to faith because this weapon scales the highest into faith with a C+ scaling, and then it scales the next highest into dexterity with a C- scaling. So pump your faith from 30 to 45, your dexterity from 25 to 45, and then flip back over to your vigor, getting it to at least 50 for late game survivability, jumping any remaining points you have into faith until it hits 60, and then finally dexterity until it falls to 60 as well. Now that we know the optimal starting class when using this weapon, let's go into a breakdown of the build. Now that we know the optimal starting class, we've got a good idea of what stats to upgrade and in what order. Let's take a look at the actual build itself. And we've got an interesting build here today because the Eclipse Shotel, despite being a legendary weapon and a curved sword, surprisingly not a great weapon. One of the biggest reasons for that is this weapon does the most suboptimal damage type for half of its damage, and that is going to be the holy class of weapon. Additionally, despite being at +10, the scaling on the weapon isn't great with C's in dexterity and faith and a D in strength. So the build is heavily focused around increasing this weapon's poor damage output in order to utilize it fully. Now, the weapon is a somber smithing stone weapon, and it has a unique ash of war called Death Flare. For the purpose of this playthrough, Death Flare is not going to matter because you cannot proc death in player versus everything. That is a player versus player type of command. So don't worry too much about that. All it means for this is that, well, we're not going to be able to change the ash war, and we can't buff the weapon. So we are stuck with it as it is, but we're going to make the best of it, starting with the armor, where we have Rikisha set minus the plate, where we have the Grey Bill Black Quill armor. That is because the curved swords have an incredible move sets for jump attacks, where each time you press one jump attack, you are immediately doing 4 attacks in the air. You also get 4 attacks when you do a sprint. And anytime you attack, the move set and the chaining of this weapon is fantastic, as you see here. So we do have that going for us. And in order to maximize it, we have the consecutive hit talismans, Millicent's Prostate, the Rotten Winged Insignia, and of course, the Thorny Cracked Tier. What might surprise you is the second tier in here is the Holy Shrouding Cracked Tier, which is going to boost our holy attacks. And that's going to include about half of this weapon class's damage, and it needs every lick of damage that it has to offer. That is going to stack with the Sacred Scorpion Charm, which will further raise our holy damage. Whenever the Psychic Flask is activated, and our last talisman will be the Ritual Sword Talisman, giving us a further 10% boost on top of everything else. Optionally, and what we did on and off the run, is you can swap this out if you're going to be sticking with mostly jump attacks to the Claw Talisman. Either way, you're going to have a great build when you're at full health. If you want to be a little bit more versatile, or if you want to focus primarily on jump attacks, I recommend you stick with that Claw Talisman. Now that we have a breakdown of the build itself, let's take a look at it all in action together on our favorite NPC here, Vars. And before you ask, we don't take it out on Vars just because he has the worst weapon in the game that we used thus far. It's because he's right here at the beginning of the game. So before you get into a fight, you're going to pop your flask, and then you're going to start wailing right here. And you see absolute devastation. He didn't get a chance to move, and that is a testament to the curved sword class itself, because the Eclipse Shotel, the damage output is not great. Still though, now that we have a thorough understanding of how to maximize it with certain weapons and items, we know how to utilize this weapon to the fullest extent. Let's get into the first boss of the run, Margit. When fighting Morgott, you want to immediately get into a window where you can start getting these consecutive hits off and really utilizing the Rotten Wings Insignia and Millicent's Prostate. So you see right there, we're able to get 2 quick attacks off, and thanks to the Curved Sword class as a whole, you see just 2 attacks takes him down to about a third health, with the 4th taking him past half. Then as he transitions into his second phase, we're able to get an additional attack off. 1 more jump attack, we'll finish it, and Morgott gets done in very short work. Now, the important thing to remember when fighting this boss is to stay aggressive. The Curved Sword class as a whole is going to carry this weapon quite a bit, as we see there. Additionally, you might be asking yourself, Chef, why did you not use the Ash of War? Well, simply put, we didn't need it. The Ash of War isn't going to do too much because in player versus everything, death status will not proc, only in player versus player. So with that being in mind, the difficulty of Morgott with the Eclipse Shotel is only a 1 on 10. Let's head to Godrick. Godrick is very similar to Morgott. He's an early game boss that's really just used to mostly teach you as a player the main mechanics of dodging, delayed attacks, and knowing what to expect. So just like Morgott, you are perfectly fine to stay very aggressive, spamming these jump attacks, because you know you're going to build up that consecutive hit over time attack buff. Again, these 2 talismans that we have on, the Rotten Wings Insignia and Millicent's Prostate, stacked with a 30 cracked tier, just absolutely devastates the enemies, as you can see right there. All these jump attacks, the Claw Talisman with your jump armor and all those consecutive hits really let the damage build up. This is another one of the boss fights that you're not going to have to think too hard for. You can just run in, start spamming these jump attacks, and you're going to finish them up before they can really transition. Still though, because we were not able to finish them up before the transition, it can't be a true 1 on 10 difficulty. He was able to get a transition in, so it's going to be a 2 out of 10 difficulty for now. Let's head up to the Academy and the Red Wolf. 3 things to remember when fighting the Red Wolf. Number 1, it is a glass cannon type boss. This means it's going to be very mobile and very high in attack damage, so it's important to dodge his aggressive attacks and then attack in open windows. Number 2, due to the fast-paced nature of that fight, you want to proc your buffs before you enter the arena, as you saw us do there. And number 3, when those windows open up, such as after his jumping sword attack or after his bite attack, you want to follow that up immediately with a punish. As you saw there, we were able to defeat the Red Wolf in just 2 attacks using these 3 tips. Those are going to be cornerstones when fighting bosses such as the Red Wolf, such as Morgott, the last of all kings at the top of the capital. Any boss that is very mobile, very fast, and relies on high damage and high mobility, those 3 keys are going to ensure that you have success. With those tips, the Red Wolf using the Eclipse Shotel is only a 1 out of 10 difficult. Let's see if those same manifests can go against the Moon Queen, Rennala. When fighting Rennala, we have to remember 2 things. Number 1, during phase 1, we need to be able to eliminate her before she cocoons back up in order to get a perfect difficulty rating of the 1 on 10 difficult. The lower the rating, the easier of a time that we had with the boss, meaning the weapon performed better. So when the fight starts, you need to immediately hit her minions with the light bulb over their head. That will cause her to drop from the cocoon. Number two, after she drops on the cocoon, you want to immediately start wailing on her. And this is going to allow those consecutive hits to build up. As you see here, 4 jump attacks does the trick. Now, during second phase, very similar to first phase, we want to stay aggressive with these jumping attacks. Keep in mind that when second phase starts, she will be pre-programmed to do a hyper beam attack. But just like in Pokemon, after Hyper Beam, they need a chance to recharge. This lets us get right behind her, gets in a hit, a second hit, and a third hit will finish her off, giving us an easy difficulty rating of 1 on 10 for Rennala. So far, so good with the Eclipse Shotel. Surely the weapon won't fall off halfway through the game, right? That's foreshadowing, by the way. The most important part of fighting the Dramatic Tree Sentinel is utilizing your free windows of opportunity against this boss. The first window of opportunity will be when he sees the player. He will slowly approach you, and he will rise up his weapon and start slowly going back on horseback to try to slam you. When he does that, you are able to spam attacks, and you see right as the fight starts, look at his health. It is already below half, and when his half is below health, wait, reverse that, strike it. When his health is below half, he will then transition to another free window where he will hop away from you, raise up his weapon to infuse it with lightning, giving you a second guaranteed free window to punish this boss. As you saw there, when he raised his weapon to infuse it with lightning, that was the last mistake that he would make. We were able to finish him off in 2 jump attacks while he was kind enough to give us that opening shot. Using these tips, the difficulty of the Dramatic Tree Sentinel with the Eclipse Shotel is only going to be a 1 out of 10. This is in honor of anyone who this boss ever bullied. Easy W in your honor. Let's head up to the Ghost of Godfrey. The best way to trivialize the Ghost of Godfrey fight is going to be to stay on his left hip. That's going to be the right hip as you're looking at him. The reason that we do this, as you'll see, we'll do the jump attack and we land right on that hip. We stay over there as he does his follow-up, and then we get behind him. When you do this, when you stay on that hip, it's going to immediately trigger a response in him where he will only do 1 of 2 attacks. When he does 1 of 2 attacks, you don't have to worry about the half a dozen to 10 different attacks that he might charge you. You just have to be wary of the 2 that are coming. It'll be the left-right sword swipe, and when you end up behind him, you know he's going to jump away from you and do his stomp attack. Right as you saw there, hopefully you didn't blink or you might have missed it, because using these tips, it overwhelms this boss so easily that as soon as he jumped away and did his stomp, that gave us a free window of opportunity to jump over the spikes. And as we were dodging the spikes, we were hitting him with the jump attack. We did that just a couple of times. It was an easy W. The difficulty of the Ghost was a 1 on 10. Similarly to the Red Wolf, the Morgott fight is glass cannon, meaning we need to use those 3 tips. Tip number 1, you want to buff before you get into the arena because it's going to be a fast-paced fight. You don't want to waste time doing your buffs. Tip number 2 is when we see open windows, such as right here when he transitioned to phase 2, we were able to hit him with a free jump attack. You want to utilize that because since this boss is a glass cannon, the faster the fights, the better. Another window got utilized there as he tried to drop his Sword of Revealing Light. We were able to do 3 jump attacks, 1 light attack, finish off the boss before he gets off a single point of damage against us. We were able to overwhelm Morgott, the Omen King, using just 2 of those 3 tips. We don't even need to use the last one due to the overall damage and devastation that the Eclipse Shotel provides. When using those tips and this weapon, the overall difficulty is just going to be a 1 on 10. We were never in any danger of losing this fight. Let's head up to the mountaintops of the giants and see what we can cook up for the fire giant. As we are approaching the late game bosses, it is time to note, does this weapon start to fall off? We're going to find out here very soon as we head over to do the fire giant first. He is the first of the late game bosses, in my opinion. And as we hop on after drinking our psychic flask, we know that to take him out, we're going to have to be extremely aggressive. So right from the start, we want to roll forwards as soon as you see the smoke go up off the ground. And this is an excellent window to punish the fire giant. Right here, you see we're able to get off 3 jump attacks on him with a 4th. And then as he rolls away, we're able to get 1 more on his way out, leading us into second phase. Now, when second phase starts, he's going to put his hands on the ground, prompting us to start spamming those jump attacks. So right here, we're able to get 1 jump attack and then a second one. I try to get a light attack on his way out and we succeed. After doing that, the Fire Giant is going to do some AoE attacks. He'll put down some fireballs to track us. And when he does that, we want to go ahead and burst them right away by riding close to them. They're proximity based. So whenever you get close, they will go off. And now they're not going to be tracking us for the rest of the fight. Additionally, he will always, at the start of second phase, proc his volcano attack where he throws the fireballs all volcanic molten rock all into the air. Once he's finally done with that, we're able to start wailing on him with our jump attack build. What I like to do and would highly recommend is that when he is doing this, instead of attacking his hands, because we're going to get such a high burst of damage when all of our consecutive hits, talismans go off, I like to go behind him on his injured leg. It's going to do less than his hand, sure, but you're going to be completely safe during the fight. You're not going to worry about taking any damage. And that right there is a hitless Fire Giant. No worries right there. The Eclipse Shotel has not fallen off on the first late game boss. We'll see if the W's continue, because up next, we have the Godskin Duo. There are 2 main things you want to keep in mind when attacking the Godskin Duo. Number 1 is when you are fighting both of them at once, such as the beginning of the fight, you want to focus on only attacking one of them. As soon as you damage either Godskin with even 1 point of damage, that Godskin will attack you much more aggressively until you take him out and he respawns in. For that reason, stick to one at a time, because if both of them are aggressive, they're both going to be chasing you very fast. But if only one is, one will chase you slightly faster than the other, and this will allow you to keep them separated easier. The more they're separated, the easier it is to punish these bosses, because if you're attacking one and the other throws a fireball at you, well, you're not going to be attacking him much longer, and even if you are, you're not going to be able to really combo him. So right here, we see we're able to get them separated. We're able to dodge out of one attack. And during the phase change, we have a safe window to really punish this boss. You see right here, we punish him to where he is about 1 HP remaining. And because he was so low, we're able to stick with our number 1 tip of attacking one at a time and finish him off. Now, the second big tip and big thing to keep in mind when fighting the Godskin Duo is when you do have a one-on-one fight, such as right now, the round Godskin is down, you want to focus all of your efforts, even if you have to trade hits with the enemies, in order to take them out before they get a chance to summon in their friend. As you see there, we were not running away from the skinny Godskin. We were keeping the pressure high, and because we did that, we were able to take him out, meaning we don't have to fight them 2-on-1 anymore. Now we can just enjoy the fruits of our labor. The round Godskin goes down after he foolishly traps himself in with us around the Black Flames. The difficulty of the fight is only a 1-on-10 using the Eclipse Shotel. Let's head upstairs to Destined Death, Malkeith. When fighting Malkeith, I want you to have 2 modes in your head. The first mode is 1 hit at a time, and the second mode is spam him with damage. There's not going to be any in-betweens, and you're going to see exactly what we mean right here. So in first phase, he is so fast on his counter attacks that we're going to use open windows to attack him only 1 time. We are in attack once mode. One of those open windows is going to be when he does his slam attack. So oftentimes he'll do a poke, left, right, an option, a third, and then a slam. After the slam, that's a jump attack when using the Eclipse Shotel. 1, 2, optional third, big slam, boom, and that is an immediate jump attack punish. Now, we're not going to stay there and keep trying to punish him, because if you do, you are oftentimes going to get hit with a rock, going to get hit with a quick poke with his dagger, and we want to avoid all of that. We're going to show you when to activate mode number 2 during second phase, because in second phase, he's going to have several windows where you can hit multiple of these jump attacks without worrying about being countered. Keep that in the back of your mind for now as we stick with the 1-hit strategy. He's going to start doing his throwing rocks. We will run away. And now is a good time if you want to reapply some buffs before second phase to do that, because in his health bar, when it gets to 50%, he will start his second phase transition. So we're going to get our blades nice and cool. It doesn't really help damage-wise, but it does help with the aura. And as we all know, aura over skill. So one more hit is going to do it as he does a side swipe. And here's a slam. What do we do after a slam? A quick jump attack. Now that we are in phase 2, take 2 steps to the right, 3 steps back, dodge forward, and now we have an attack window. 1 attack, 2 attacks, 3 attacks. You see we're able to get 3 jump attacks off against Malkeith, and that is going to get our talismans working for us. Another jump attack window here, 5, 6. He does go into Destined Death mode, but that is just fine with us. We can take one of those hits and then get an opportunity to dodge through his Destined Death attacks, heal back up to full, and now we're looking for another melee attack like this. Here we go. On attack mode right now, because of that horizontal swipe followed up by that vertical strike, we got to just stand there, spam attacks, and as you can see, Malkeith is down before he even gets a chance to get going. Because of that, the difficulty rating of Malkeith when using the Eclipse Shotel is only going to be a 3 on 10. Up next, we have Gideon in the Ashen Capital. The number 1 rule for Gideon in Elden Ring is, and I quote, if you don't beat him the first time, you're going to have a bad time. Luckily, with curved swords, you are able to spam jump attacks, proc the buffs from your jump armor, the claw talisman, as well as the consecutive hits. That's the Rod Rain Insignia, Millicent's Prostate, the Thorny Cracked Tear. Additionally, if you use weapon pieces that we went over in the build, like Rakisha's helmet, Rakisha's gloves, Rakisha's boots, that is going to add another 6% damage on top of the 25% for the buffs, on top of all the consecutive hits. And finally, the 2 weapons themselves as being curved swords, the ability to use 4 attacks with a single jump attack just overwhelms enemies. And if Gideon, which he will do every time the first time you enter the arena, is standing there and yapping, you can get these attacks off and finishing them out, trivializing the fight. The overall difficulty of Gideon when using the Eclipse Shotels is a true 1 on 10. Let's see what we can cook up against the first Elden Lord, Godfrey. Think back to the Ghost of Godfrey fight, and we are going to use an extremely similar strategy in phase 1. You notice we're staying on his left hip, the right hip as you're looking at him, and that's going to bait out that attack right there, prompting him to jump away from you, stomp the ground, and while he jumps away and stomps, we can jump over the spikes that come up and get him with a free jump attack. From there, we're going to follow it up, and you see already we are in second phase. He gets no chance to get going whenever we utilize this jump attack build. Even here, we're able to trade with him, and as he gets staggered, we are able to get him into a health pool where he is going to automatically trigger his long wind-up stomp attack. As soon as he stands there with that long wind-up, we are going to be able to finish off the first Elden Lord with the curved swords. It is incredibly easy if you utilize those tips. The difficulty with the Eclipse Shotel is only a 1 on 10. Let's see what we can cook up against Radagon and the Elden Beast now. The 2 most important things you need to do when fighting Radagon Beast is, number 1, take advantage of the guaranteed windows. Right at the start of the fight, Radagon is going to aura farm you by slowly turning to you, allowing you to do 3 jump attacks right off the bat. We knock those out and take a look at his health. It is extremely low. It is already down about 20%. The next open window is when he does that stomp attack right there, when he gets to about 25% health down. When he rises his foot, you can jump over the damage of the holy on the ground for a free jump attack. The third open window is going to be after he gets up from his critical strike, he will start his triple ground slam, and you will see that right here. So when he does this, he's going to hit the ground twice, allowing you to dodge them, and the third one will be a longer windup, allowing you to attack him and finish him off. Is the most important tip for beating Radagon and getting a 1 on 10 difficulty when using the Eclipse Shotels, taking advantage of those open windows. Let's move on to the Elden Beast. In addition to taking advantage of the open windows, like in the Radagon parts of the fight, the opening window at the Elden Beast portion is going to be immediately from the start. When he plays fire, you can spam jump attacks, and you see he is down to about 40% of his health gone and 60% remaining. Now for the second big tip of the fight, and this one is going to be particularly important for the Elden Beast, is going to be stay aggressive. The Elden Beast will run away from you, and when he does, you want to immediately close that distance and start wailing on him again. You see right here, we close the distance, and right after his Ring Around the Rosie attack, we're already attacking him. Right after he does his Holy Explosion, we are again behind him, and we are again spamming these jump attacks and getting these consecutive hit buildups. When he is doing his Elden Star attack, we are taking advantage of a second open window, and the third open window is going to become apparent very soon. When the Elden Stars are attacking you, I like to just go ahead and go right through them because it takes them a second to turn around and continue tracking you. Even if they blow you up, it's not going to be a big deal. The damage is going to be low. Now, after he does his triple Ring Around the Rosie, you're going to do a 180 yourself, turn around, and it is time to again punish the Elden Beast. Get behind him, and you start seeing this damage stack up here once we get in to where we are able to get off multiple hits on him in a row. That's going to prompt a melee attack from the Elden Beast, and after we dodge the third one, we can masterfully finish him off with 2 more jump attacks. The overall difficulty of the Elden Beast when using the Eclipse Shotel is only a 1 on 10, truly showcasing how special the curved sword class in general is in Elden Ring. Now that we've gone over all the 14 mandatory bosses required to beat the game, let's take a look at the tier list and see where this weapon ranks compared to the other ones that we have played thus far. The average difficulty rating on a scale of 1 to 10 when using the Eclipse Shotel in a full playthrough from start to finish ended up being a 5.2 out of 10, making the Eclipse Shotel overall not the best choice to use in a playthrough becoming the Elden Lord. Why is this a legendary weapon? The damage output is horrendous. The reach isn't good. I mean, it is a curved sword, which is probably the best weapon class in the game, but that's about all the weapon has going for it. You can't buff it. You can't change the Ash of War. The Ash of War doesn't matter in PvE. It's strictly a PvP, barely Ash of War. Because of this, the Eclipse Shotel ends itself in the below average weapon tier and the bottom of it as well. Its weapon class itself does save it from ending up in the broken straight sword tier, but golly, if this weapon was not a curved sword, it would easily make it. The requirements are high, the damage is low, it is below average at doing what any other curved sword in the game can do. Don't use it, but enough about what I think. I want to know what you think. Are we just using the Eclipse Shotel the wrong way? Do we have the talismans wrong? Were we not taking full effect of its Ash of War? Does the Ash of War actually work in player versus everything? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And until next time, fellow Tarnished, stay maidenless.